Last video described how to construct a probability space when the sample space omega is countable. The more complex case but very useful in application is when the omega is uncountable. For example, omega equal to R real number system, Rk, R infinity and so on. The problem is how do we generally construct a probability model which will have given desirable properties. Okay, let's start. Constructions of probability spaces. General construction. First we start with a sample space omega and a class of subsets of omega S. And we assign probability P on the set S. And now we extend uniquely to sigma of X. That is, we start with a sample space omega and a class of subsets of omega S, and then we assign probability on S, and then we extend P to sigma of S, and the extension is unique. For example, consider omega equal to R, and we are given a distribution function F. Constructions of probability spaces. General constructions. The general method is to start with a sample space omega and a class of subsets of omega S. And now we assign probability P on S. And we extend P to sigma of S, sigma field generated by S. And this extension is unique. That is, we start with a sample space omega on a class of subsets of omega S, and we assign probability P on S and P extended to sigma of S, sigma field generated by S. For example, let omega equal to R, the real number system, and we are given a distribution function F. Take S to be the set of all half open intervals in R. Now define P on S to be P of open A closed B equal to F of P minus F of A. Then we extend the definition of P from S to sigma of S, and here it is B of R, the Borel set. The sigma field is generated by intervals in R. Now note that given two structures G1, G2 of subsets of omega such that G1 subset of G2 and two set functions Pi from Gi to close to 0, 1 with I equal to 1, 2. We say that P2 is an extension of P1 or P1 extends to P2 if P2 restricted to G1 equal P1. That is, P2 restricted to G1 equal to P1. It means P2 of A1 equal to P1 of A1 for all A1 belongs to G1. A set function P with a structure as domain and range close to 0, 1, that is P from G to close to 0, 1 is additive if any n greater than or equal to 1 and any disjoint A1, A2, etc. An belongs to G such that summation I equal to 1 to an Ai belongs to G. We have P of summation I equal to 1 to an Ai equal to summation I equal to 1 to n P of Ai. Hence we call P as additive. Call P sigma additive if the index n can be replaced by infinity. Next we define semi-algebra. Semi-algebra is a class S of subsets of omega is a semi-algebra if the following postulates hold. This first one, phi and omega belongs to S1. And second one, S is a pi system. That is, it is closed under finite intersections. And third one, if A belongs to S, then there exists some finite n and disjoint sets C1 etc. Cn with the Ci belongs to S such that A complement equal to summation I equal to 1 to n Ci. That is, for any A belongs to S, we can write A complement as disjoint union of sets in S. Then S is called a semi-algebra. Examples. Let omega equal to R, and suppose S1 consists of intervals including phi, the empty set. That is, S1 is set of all half-open intervals in R including phi. Then S1 is a semi-algebra. For first one, clearly phi and omega belongs to S1. And next, S1 is a pi system. That is, I1, I2 belongs to S1. Then I1 intersection I2 is an interval and in S1. And the third one, if I belongs to S1, then I complement is a union of disjoint intervals. That is, take I equal to open A closed B, then I complement equal to disjoint union of intervals minus infinity closed A and open B closed infinity. Therefore, S is a semi-algebra. Now next example, let omega equal to Rk, that is set of all ordered pairs x1, x2, etc. xk with xi belongs to R, I equal to 1 to etc. k, and sk equal to set of all rectangles including phi. A rectangle is of the form A equal to I1 cross etc. cross Ik, where Ij belongs to S1 is an interval for j equal to 1 to etc. k. That is, we can write a rectangle of the form cross product of intervals. Now, first one, clearly phi, omega are rectangles. And any intersections of rectangles are also rectangles. So, SK is a pi system. Now, for the third condition, first we prove for k equal to 2. That is, in S2. S2 is a semi-algebra. When k equal to 2 and A is a rectangle, that is I1 cross I2, then A complement can be written as disjoint union of rectangles. Let's be like in R2 an interval I1 and an interval I2, cross product of I1 and I2 gives a rectangle I1 cross I2. We say that A rectangle A, that's equal to I1 cross I2. And considering A complement is the outer portion here. Consider the shaded region. These are disjoint rectangles. And finally we get this is our rectangle A, I1 cross I2. And A complement is disjoint union of rectangles. Therefore, in case of k equal to 2, that's when k equal to 2, S2 is a semi-algebra. Now for general, let A equal to I1 cross etc. cross Ik, and that's equal to intersection I equal to 1 to k set of all ordered pairs x1 etc. xk with xi belongs to ii. So that A complement equal to intersection I equal to 1 to k set of all ordered pairs x1 etc. xk with xi belongs to ii whole complement, and that is equal to union I equal to 1 to k set of all ordered pairs x1 etc. xk xi belongs to ii complement. Since ii belongs to S1, ii complement can be written as it's equal to ii dash plus ii double dash, where ii dash ii double dash belongs to S1 are intervals. Now consider the set D equal to set of all u1 cross etc. cross uk with u alpha equal to I alpha or I alpha dash or I alpha double dash, alpha equal to 1 to etc. k. That is, D is the collection of all cross products u alpha. When u alpha equal to I alpha, for alpha equal to 1 to etc. k, then u1 cross u2 cross etc. uk, that's equal to A. So A complement equal to summation over u1 cross u2 cross etc. uk belongs to D, with not all u alpha equal to I alpha for alpha equal to 1 to etc. k, u1 cross u2 cross etc. uk. That is A complement is the disjoint union of rectangles in SK. This shows that SK is a semi-algebra. That's all about semi-algebra. Okay, now we are ready to construct a probability space in general. For general construction, we first start with a probability measure P on a simple structure S. And in next step, we extend this P to A of S, the algebra generated by S or the field generated by S. And in next, we extend P from A of S to sigma of A of S, the sigma field generated by S. And this extension is unique. So to construct a probability measure, we want to know more about the structure A of S and try to extend P uniquely to A of S. That is our first extension theorem. And next we try to extend P from A of S to sigma of A of S uniquely, and that is second extension theorem. And both are very important.